Hey everyone, good evening. 大家好. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Heng Sure. Today is Sunday, May 11th here in California. It is the 12th. It's a Monday noon in Australia. It's a Monday morning in China, Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam. Hope you're all well and looking forward to another experience of the Ten Transferences chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra, because that's what we're about to engage in. 欢迎各位，我叫恒实，今天晚上是星期天，5月11号，在加州，在澳大利亚，在中国，在台湾哪里？是星期一中午星期一上午。我们准备研究大放广佛华严经十回向品。如果各位呢就愿意跟我一起来学习研究这一品，那就欢迎了。Okay, so welcome to this chance to find out more about the wisdom of the Buddha and the Bodhisattva path. Today, actually, Gwyn is going to request Dharma all the way from Ohio, and I'm going to first ring my yin qing, this bell, 3 times. I'm going to make 3 half bows and invite you all to join me and do the same. 等一等，Gwyn 就是要请法，他在 Ohio 州，美国 Ohio 州。我们要先敲引磬3下，然后呢，在自己的座位上就行3问讯礼。好，来，1问讯，再问讯，3问讯。Okay, now, Gwyn, if you would like to request Dharma, please go ahead and do it now.
I'm requesting Dharma on behalf of my mother, Amitofo.
Okay, fine.
恭敬大德僧听，为此法会，济一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死离苦得乐，速证无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dhamma wheel to teach us how to live suffering and assemblies and in birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Oops. In here.
My apologies, everybody. I have moved to Berkeley, and apparently we have a glitch. So just when Gwen was requesting Dharma, my computer bombed and Zoom quit. So we will see if that's going to happen again. If it does, please be patient because I will shift to another means of doing this. 就说对不起各位啊，刚刚我那个软件就停了一下下。Gwen, if you wouldn't mind, could we start over? Let's do it again. I would like to ask you, please, I think on behalf of your mom is a great idea to request Dharma on her behalf, especially on Mother's Day. That's a wonderful thing. So we're going to start over. 我们Gwen 方才说他为他母亲就请法然后我说这是个很好的主意，尤其今天是那个母亲节哈，所以呢我们再来从头。Okay, let me get started here. Here we go. And okay, one more time, please, from the top, if you don't mind.
Sure. 恭请大德僧听，为此法会，济一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死离苦得乐，速证无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering and assemblies and in birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samya samputoshye.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samyao samputoshye.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿觉如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. All right, we made it this far without the software exploding, so that's auspicious. That's a good start. We will continue now to invoke the presence of the Avatamsaka Assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and the gods and the dragons in the Eightfold Pantheon of spiritual Dharma protectors. Let's see how we do. 我们继续恭请华严海会佛菩萨、天龙八部护法上身莅临道场哈。南无大方广佛华严经，华严海佛菩萨，南无大方广佛 One more time. 大放光佛华严经，华严海为佛菩萨。Furthermore, we, the Pomo people, practiced spiritual connections to the earth and to all creation here in their ancestral land for tens of thousands of years, and today we acknowledge them as traditional custodians and original storytellers of these lands. We offer our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations peoples whose sovereignty was never ceded. 我们恭敬地承认婆摩人是我们寺院所在地的传统续持者和守护人。我们向过去、现在和未来的长者们致敬，并且向所有从来没有放弃主权的第一民族的原住民致敬。Here we go. Let's see. Here's my bell. Bell sound wide resounds throughout 100 million worlds. The Buddha's law is heard and spread all throughout the triple world. The wondrous sounds that everywhere fill the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. 众生传3000劫内，佛法扬万亿国中，共训其法界和平，利益报他诺后德。Okay, done. Hey, we can put this software away. Keynote. There we go. Now we are moving forward. All right, let's see here. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. 母亲节快乐. Happy Buddha's birthday. 佛诞快乐，维萨节快乐. And also, what do we want to say? Happy 30th anniversary of the Berkeley Buddhist Monastery founding. 这个博客来上次就是法界宗教研究院的成立了30周年，快乐。就玄公上人入涅槃不是快乐的，不过我们就一样了，30周年就认识就过了啊。So, happy Mother's Day, happy Buddha's birthday, indeed, Wesak, as they call it, 维萨节。And also, happy 30th anniversary of Berkeley Buddhist Monastery and the Institute for World Religions. How about that? We were established in 1995. And we don't say happiness observing the 30th anniversary of Master Hua's demise, his entering nirvana, but it is, in fact, the same year. Okay, I am indeed back in Berkeley. I'm here at Berkeley Buddhist Monastery and going through the process of jet lag, which is a real thing. Indeed, your body, I definitely know that I haven't entirely arrived. My physical form is here, but there's a lot of spiritual presence that is still in motion, still moving across 6,000 miles. So that's an amazing experience, and that I do it twice a year is kind of insane. 那个，就说时差，哪个是真的，那个事情是真的啊。虽然身体已经到了加州这里啊，可是呢，应该说，就是魂魄啊，七春多少？七春九魄，九魂七魄多少？就还在动中，还没有完全到达，还没有整个这个人到达，是一种过程，实在是这不是一种理念啊，时差是真的，所以就要忍着，就要过哈。每年做了2次，回来来回哦。Yeah. So let's see here. I want to say hello to everyone from, let's see here, California, to Ohio, to Washington State, to British Columbia, to San Jose, to Los Angeles, to Shanghai, to Redwood Valley. Bob is here. To Hong Kong, to Newbury Park, LA, Sunnyvale, Alameda, Saratoga, Taipei. My goodness. Montreal, Canada, Eastern Canada. As my father used to say, the Eastern Townships. Maybe Montreal is not exactly Eastern Townships because that's a real city. Let's see here. New York City. And where else? Let's see here. Berkeley, Columbia City, Oregon, Northern California, Seattle, Ukiah, San Francisco, Bay Area, San Jose, Elk Grove. California's doing well. Hey, this is where Shifu planted his seeds, planted the seeds of the Dharma most actively. So I see all these, not elderly, but old-time disciples. Sarah and Michael are here. Terrific. My goodness. Okay, where else? San Jose and Oakland and Seattle and Virginia and Seattle and there's the Northwest is doing pretty well too. I think that's it mirrors that very same dynamic. That's where Shifu put a lot of effort, and we have monasteries in Seattle, in Snow Mountain, in Vancouver, in Golden, in Calgary. So yes, indeed. All right, I see Stella is here. Welcome. 然后呢，我就说那么多不同的地方 ，Bay Area 就是旧金山湾区最多。当然，师父在这里花了很多势力、很多时间、很多功夫，来把正法就加到这个新的大陆啊。那么中国呢，应该没问题，就是东北最多，那也不是不出奇了哈。马来西亚、哈尔滨、安徽哪里？吉林、黑龙江、深圳、辽宁、吉林都是东北啊。西安黑龙江苏州、安徽、浙江、兰海、陕西、宝鸡还有哪里？泉州、福建、泉州、湖南吉林哪里？淮南市张家口。苏州、包头、黑龙江、吉林、北京、湖北浙江海宁河北唐山那么大家都是 regular， 就是每个礼拜不穿漏而要每个礼拜不缺席。有人告诉我不穿漏不是这么说的，我说学错了那个成语，不是说就没有漏掉，一定要来参加听经。欢迎河南、包头、哈尔滨、浙江、南京、海南、西雅图黑龙江哇，人多，东北人多呀，是的。辽宁还有什么地方？江苏、河南。嘿，各位，我说你们如果听我讲一种不平凡、不正确的一种成语或者一种说法，请你们在那个 chat box 就打进来告诉我，不然的话 有的人就说：“哎，法师，你讲的这个美国中文啊，很特别。”不对了，我要讲的是一种正常，一种就说大家受欢迎的一种普通的普通话，好不好？麻烦你们，如果你听我讲的什么古怪的、不中不西、南腔北调的怪话，一定要给我改，好不好？你打进去说，师父，我们比较，你这么说法，我们没听过了啊？为什么？我的中文就是七扯八拉的，在这边学，在那边学，没有什么正统的哈。OK，so I'm asking for help from the Chinese listening audience to correct my strange habits of, particularly sure idioms. I was told recently by someone that when I say without exception, I say 不穿漏, and people don't say that, 师父. So please, if you hear me say something strange, I may have picked it up from a book incorrectly, or I heard it wrong, or something. So the only way I'm going to change is if you tell me that that phrase is not ordinary, or is classical, or is a piece of, even Wen Yen Wen, and modern folks don't talk that way. My goal is to not sound quaint or strange. I don't want to speak Meiglish. We say Chinglish is Chinese English. I don't want to speak Meiwen, Zhongwen, American Chinese. I want to speak Chinese Chinese. OK， 好不好？拜托拜托，不是说哎呀，法师我们不敢，那也不对的。我真的要求，希望你们大家都可以随时给我改。OK, here we go. The first one. 成语 incomplete should be 三魂七魄. Good, thank you, Yuan. 三魂七魄，对。Yeah, so 就是其中一个，那是一个例子。I said I'm in the process of jet lag, and the Chinese have a way of describing a human as made up of multiple souls. So what someone would call the soul, Christianity would maybe refer to some unitive thing, a soul. In fact, the Chinese say 3 corporeal souls and 7 spiritual souls. And altogether, there are 10, but you need 3 and 7. And actually, Chinese medicine remarks on Chinese medicine will tell you that people can have a shock or an accident, and portions of the 3 Hun and the 7 Po, the 2 different kinds of souls, can be knocked out of the body just by some impact or some shock. And the person can become even persistent vegetative states for these reasons, or just coming back to consciousness and feeling incomplete. And it's because they are short of some of those 3 and 7. And they can be regained, and Taoists and monks, Buddhist monks, that was part of our job, was to help people recapture their soul. So, interesting. All right. I will now save that, and anything that you share with me in terms of corrections to my Chinese, I will definitely record and learn and study. All right. How. Here we go. Here is today's. We are experiencing a shift in the 8th transference because we have just finished 800 descriptions of spiritual essence, known as Zhenru, or true suchness, true thusness. It's really hard to translate, but I think it's hard on the Chinese ear as well to say Zhenru. What is Zhenru? It's like, that's Buddhist stuff. Yeah. So what is it? Well, if you go looking up what is Zhenru, dictionaries will tell you it is a synonym for the highest goal of cultivation. So to recognize the Buddha nature is Zhenru. The Dharma nature, the 佛性, 法性 is Zhenru. Bodhi is 真如, true suchness. Nirvana is 真如. So Bodhi Nirvana is true suchness. So all of these things that likewise require effort to describe. Why? It's because it's kind of like a fish stepping outside the water to describe the medium in which they live. You can't. Can we step out of the air to describe what breathing air is like? No. As soon as you step out of breathing air, you're dead. So the totality of 真如 goes beyond thought and beyond words. So intellectual efforts and language efforts are frustrated in trying to describe, but we can give it names. Okay? So we've had 100 analogies of what 真如 really is. And the effort to describe 真如 is a means to describe what bodhisattvas of the eighth transference are like as they transfer merit. That's the idea. 现在改到已经转个弯，已经到不同的地步，在我们的第八回向里边了。就说我们刚刚研究过100个比喻，就是这个比喻是一双比喻，两个在一起。这个本来呢有100个譬如真如100次。譬如真如，真如是什么？哎呀，你问100个中国人什么叫真如，他们说那是佛教的这个东西，我们不懂。我们也不懂，我们佛教界的也很难懂。为什么呢？因为真如，你如果查字典的话，他就说真如就是佛性，真如就是法性，真如就是涅槃，真如就是菩提，那是最高的、最圆满的一个地步，那个目的修行都要证得佛性，把那个佛性流露出来。让它放大光明，功德圆满这样子啊。那么问题是什么？语言不能说，思想也不能考虑，超过讲话那个思想的这个思虑的范围。好像你把一条鱼，你说水是这么一回事。那条鱼，它就因为就在水里边，没有水就没有鱼了，它很难认识水是这么一回事。如果你问人那个空气是怎么一回事呢？你给我讲，我就在空气里，我一离开空气就死了。所以一样的问题，真如就是这个，是这么圆满的一个事情。就说已经超过语言和思想的范围啊，所以因为这个关系了，我们就用比喻，譬如真如怎么样呢？那么这100个比喻呢，是有另外一种用处，就把这个比喻来表达第8回向的菩萨回向功德是这么一回事。所以说一双两个比喻。Okay, it's two analogies here. Is that interesting? Anybody care about that? I did because I don't recall any other time in the Avatamsaka when we've had 100 of anything, but we just had 100 and double analogies, and it's kind of that's unusual. So clearly, the Bodhisattva of the eighth transference is talking about the sacred. He's talking about the holy. Why do we come on a Sunday night in California to listen to a sutra? How strange. What a strange, interesting behavior. Well, for some of us, this is our go-to-church time. Divine religions that are theistic, that have a God, often go worship that divine being once a week. On Sunday is typical. If you're a Muslim, if you're a Jew, it's Saturday, the Sabbath, or Friday to Saturday is a 24-hour period. If you're a Muslim, it's 5 times a day. It's different. But Shifu set up our monasteries so that we hear the sutras every night. So every night is a chance to talk to the Buddha. Here we are opening up the sutras and digging in, saying, what does the Buddha's voice sound like? What can I learn from? Shifu described it as a mirror. There's a lot of analogies for sutras, but one of those many analogies, is that it's like a mirror and you can see your true face. So that's what we do on a Sunday night. And it took us a while to get used to this eighth transference, to realize these 100 analogies for Genru it's the names of the holy. This is a chance to look directly, to hear the Buddha tell us what this super, super, super important part of our lives is, a part of our lives that mostly we go through every day not even caring about. Not many people go through lifetimes without a clue that something inside us is the place where all happiness abides. That if we can realize, uncover this true suchness thing, true thusness, true suchness, the Buddha nature, then all pain ends. And we have a way of being that answers all questions, solves all problems, unties all knots, heals all pains. It's there. It's every one of us has it, and we just run outside looking for, as Shifu said, seeing what's good in the kitchen to eat, something a little different. So that's why. That's what this is about. 那个100个比喻，什么叫真如呢？这个是我们华严经里边的说我们人生最宝贵的东西是什么？我们要研究，要谈一谈，要说一说，要考虑要思考。人生最宝贵的东西是什么？就是我这个身体，你这个身体里边的佛性。这个大地上的人类多数就过了一辈子，一次都没想到我身体里边会不会有宝贝。如果我挖，就用佛法这个斧头来挖，动这个土，我都会发现我的佛性。今天另外一个比喻，今天我们遇佛了，遇佛节，就3次把这个甘露就滴到这个小佛像的身体上，就symbolically 成像上，就把自己身性这个自性上的一些污浊的东西了洗掉，洗得干净了，这是一个好的比喻。这个第8回向你菩萨，他就用很多话来说，那个真如，你身体里边那个东西也要明白，要认识所以每个礼拜天或者礼拜1上午回来研究，就因为那个了，是最宝贵的东西了华严经就会讲这个，所以我们每个礼拜都回来听听一起研究。So actually, I just thought today there's a better analogy actually for what we're about with this investigation. Today was Buddha's birthday here at the Berkeley Monastery. And on Buddha's birthday, it's a bathing the Buddha ceremony. We have a baby Buddha, one finger pointing up, one finger pointing down. And you come along with a scoop, a ladle, and you pour 3 scoopfuls of water, but you think of it as something special, sweet dew, and dribble it over the Buddha, not over his head, over his body, symbolically washing away the things that cover over our Buddha nature. So that's the idea of this 8th transference, and inside us is that true suchness. All right, now let's start right here. You've heard enough of my fumbling around. Let's take a look at the Chinese. We'll take this whole because of. This is a piece. There are 10 new things coming up to talk about. We'll do the whole thing, and then we'll do the whole thing in English and then explain it. 接下来呢，有10个原因，为什么就菩萨这样做呢？我们就把整个10个从头到尾在这念下去，然后把英文从头到尾再念下去，好吧 ？Okay, ready? You can read with me if you like. Here we go. 佛子菩萨摩诃萨如是回向时，得一切佛刹平等，普严净一切世界故。得一切众生平等，普为转无碍法轮故。得一切菩萨平等，普出生一切志愿故。得一切诸佛平等，观察诸佛体无二故。得一切法平等，普知诸法性无异故。得一切世间平等，以方便智善解一切语言道故。得一切菩萨行平等，随众善根尽回向故。得一切时平等，亲修佛事与一切事无断绝故。得一切业果平等，于是出世所有善根皆无染着，显究竟故。然后最后得一切佛自在神通平等，随顺世间现佛事故。Okay, that's a lot of Chinese. Thanks for listening in here. Okay, we'll start at the top here. Slide that over. All right, here we go. Disciples of the Buddha, when bodhisattvas, mahasattvas make dedications in this way, then, because they adorn and purify all worlds, they realize the equality of all Buddha kshetras. Because the unobstructed Dharma wheel, because they turn the unobstructed Dharma wheel everywhere, they realize the equality of all living beings. Because they bring forth the aspiration for omniscient wisdom, they realize the equality of all bodhisattvas. Because they contemplate that the essence of all Buddhas is non-dual, they realize the equality of all Buddhas. Because they comprehend the immutable nature of all phenomena, they realize the equality of all phenomena. Because they become well versed in all languages through the wisdom of skillful means, they realize the equality of all worlds. Because they dedicate the entirety of their good roots upon attaining them, they realize the equality of all bodhisattvas' practices. Because they diligently do the Buddha's work without cease, they realize the equality of all times. Because they free themselves completely from all attachments to mundane and transcendent good roots, they realize the equality of all karmic consequences. And because they manifest the Buddha's work in accordance with all worldly conditions, they realize the equality of Buddha's spiritual powers of self-mastery. Okay, so let's take a look at the Chinese to understand what's being said here and why we should care. So here's the structure. Disciples of the Buddha says, Vajra treasury, Vajra banner Bodhisattva. He's the speaker of this chapter. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva, that leader among Bodhisattvas, when he or she makes transference in this way, the structure is de, iche, and then pingdang. Something, gu. Okay, what is it? when the Bodhisattva transfers in this way, they gain, and the 一切 here can be translated as all, but sometimes that all muffles the strength of the noun that is being discussed. So we just add an S instead. It's a pluralizer. It means instead of gets all Buddhas, you say gets the Buddhas. Instead of all living beings, says it gets living beings, plural. Okay? So gets, obtains the Buddhas what? 平等. That's the structure. See? 平等. Here it is. 平等, 平等, 平等. What is 平等? 平 by itself means flat, not high, not low. 平. It's a scale, goes like that. The old Libra kind of scale. Toledo scales, no springs, honest weight. Anybody from Cleveland, Ohio would know about Toledo scales. So there it is, like that. And deng means to be equal to. This equals that. It's not different from. So ping and deng means, we used to say level equality to cover both, but often when two words are together like that, you don't need two English words to capture it. It just means equality. You can also say impartiality would also cover. So 10 gets plural equality of what? This is what changes every time. Cha, Fo Cha, Zhong Sheng, Pusa, Zhu Fo, Fa, Shi Jian, right? So here's the pattern. What I'm giving the non-Chinese speakers a sense of, we want to get past language entirely, but we're not there yet. And the sutra encourages us to work with language. So I think it's really helpful. If you and you can handle the ABCs for sure, but it's much more fun to look at the Chinese, look at the characters, right? So you can see de, 一切, there it is, 10 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. This is the Avatamsaka Sutra. There it is. 10 plurals that bodhisattvas get. And the next part of the sentence that's the same is that the last two words, ping dung, ping dung, ping dung, ping dung, ping dung, ping dung, 10 times. Equality. So the way the sutra is structured is the thing that is different each time is this noun. Buddha lands, living beings, bodhisattvas, Buddhas, dharmas, right? You see how this first part. Now, that's just the first half. So they get that, period, that should be a comma in terms of the syntax. That's because, this word here, gu, means because they something. So the big verb here is this. So there it is, here it is, sorry, there it is, here it is, here it is. Okay, so you can see how this sentence is structured. 我简单给不讲中文的人解释这十个句子华严经的经文有那个中文的文法是有10个里边几个字每次一样，就是得一切什么平等，得一切名词平等，得一切名词平等，佛刹众生菩萨诸佛法世间等等。那么你如果看看中文是怎么就说怎么沟通这个意思，当然能超过语言，直接从佛心啊，从金刚传菩萨的心传到我们，那就不用文字。我们没到那个地步，所以我们还要注意这个文字。你明白这个文法是怎么构造呢？那就有帮助我们明白。然后呢，得什么什么名词，这个平等，第二半每一句的第二半 就有动词，普严净一切世界故，因为这个关系，所以有这个动作。All right? 有这个成绩。Okay, let's take a look at the English here and go all the way down and we'll come back. We can do it sentence by sentence. That's better. Okay. The English, our translator here, has reversed the order of the Chinese. So in the Chinese, it's they gain the equality of something 10 times, and thereby, or because they something. Okay. In English, we turned it around here. When bodhisattvas, mahasattvas transfer their merit that way, because something, they therefore realize the equality of Buddhas, living beings, bodhisattvas. Is this Buddhas again? Is it twice? We'll get there. Okay. So you see how this is structured. This is a grammatically, it's kind of complex. Bodhisattvas dedicate merit, and at that time, they realize equality. Equality, 10 times. What's the big deal about realizing equality? Why is that brought up 10 times? Am I ahead of myself? Should we look at an example before we give away, point to the keys of it? Let's do a couple examples and then we'll go ahead. Okay. Because they adorn and purify all worlds, they realize the equality of Buddha lands, or of all Buddha lands. Now, I am going to challenge adorn and purify as well. People who know me know that I'm on a crusade to reduce the use of the word adorn. 严净. I think it means something much more like create. When we dedicate merit, 愿以此功德庄严佛净土, may all this merit and virtue adorn the Buddha's Pure Lands? No. You don't need a pretty Pure Land. That happens by itself. What you do is, may I take the merit and virtue that I cultivate to create a Pure Land. That's what Bhikshu Fazang did when he made the land of ultimate bliss and became Amitabha, right? So we're not making pretty, like home decorating all worlds, purifying them so they're not dirty. What, 99 and 23, 100% pure? How does it go? Ivory soap. So it's not that. They are creating, through the goodness of their cultivation, these lands where suffering is over. Because they do that, because they dedicate their merit to build these places where Buddhas live and teach, therefore, in the process of doing that, they realize the equality of all Buddha lands. What is that? For most of us in the world, we have nothing to do with equality. We are in there fighting for non-equality. We fight for what we love and what we desire and what we want, and we run from and deny and negate and destroy what we don't like. You don't belong in America, so I'm going to make a camp and send you out of the country because I don't like you. That's the absolute opposite of equality of Buddha lands, or quality of living beings. So and the Buddha would say, because we are completely based in love and hate and dualities, therefore we can never realize the equality of Buddha lands. Bodhisattvas are not that way. Why? They cultivate prajna paramita. And with prajna paramita, we visualize and realize the coming into being and the passing away of things made of conditions. So if you think back, we've been working on the 10 Transferences, we worked on the 10 Stages chapter, the 10 grounds. At that, let's work on the 10 grounds. The sixth of the 10 grounds was the Prajnaparamita step. What did it talk about? There will be a quiz. Please turn in your test booklets. What was it? It was about the 12 links of conditioned arising. You remember? Pratitya Samutpada, 12因缘法. And Pratitya Samutpada, the 12 conditions, the 12 links of conditioned arising, said everything from our bodies to the worlds to our joys and our sorrows come in a process of 12 linking impetuses, 12 linking forces that if you start one, ignorance, and then you move, there they come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, and they start over. Because it ends in birth and death. So at that sixth stage, at that sixth ground, bodhisattvas completely, totally grok, totally understand the 12 links. And at that point, wow, prajna paramita. They realize 2 levels of truth. One level is mundane truth, where everything is good or bad, right or wrong. I love it, I hate it. I can't stand it, or it's my favorite, right? That's dual, that's normal truth. But at the same time, they see the composite nature of all things, and they don't attach to them. They are impartial towards them. They are equal in their view of conditioned dharmas. And as a result, suffering ends. Ignorance is over. They don't act reaching out to grab the ones they like and throwing away the ones they don't like. That's wisdom, prajna wisdom. Okay? 那么 let me translate that. 就是说为什么平等这个东西回来了10次呢？平等有什么重要呢？得一切佛刹平等就是因为菩萨在这个地步呢，已经度过第6回向。如果是十地菩萨，他度过第6回向，第6地。你们各位记得吗？我们讲过那个十地品那个第6地呢是讲什么呢？是讲12因缘法。12因缘法，菩萨在那个时候他就修成了这个十地的智慧呢，他证得什么？般若波罗蜜多。般若波罗蜜多是明白所谓2地，有虚地普通的实际，普通的 reality， 还有一种真谛究竟的智慧。怎么说呢？12因缘法是说一切的一切，就是我们的身体，还有我们的世界，还有最小的东西、最大的东西，都是因缘而成，因缘而灭，因缘而生，因缘而灭。就说没有什么究竟存在，一切法中间是无常、无我、苦、空。我们一执着了，就生苦、造苦了，受苦啊。能放下、看破，那就离苦。因为观察12因缘法，在那第6个地步的话的什么呢？一切佛刹平等，一切佛刹平等还有这个眼镜怎么翻译呢？我认为就是不是说把它修美就美化，不是，美化是外表的，这个眼镜是说成就造成圆一次功德，庄严佛净土。这个法藏比丘他在因地的时候，他就愿意把他的功德回向做极乐世界，不是把它美化了，不是那个意思。这个我们认为很多人说庄严，庄严就是把它好像 interior decorating 好看一点，那就是外表，不是这个意思。不，你翻译这样子不对。OK， 没关系了。好，来 OK， let's now is that we've one sentence here. A lot to work on. Adorning and purifying. I think it means creation. Let's see. Now, because you've all been listening to me rattle on. What patience you have. We're in a world where TikTok videos last a minute and a half, right? Shorts, YouTube Shorts is trying to compete with TikTok. 90 seconds at the most. So I need to help you all. You will need to help me give us something fresh to listen to. And here it is, Buddha's birthday. 因为你们大家有手机，我们就看抖音啊，哇，很快就把我们的注意力分散了，90秒钟最多，对不对？所以我还是认为我们给大家，你们听了90分钟的一个法师讲这样子，所以呢，我给你们一个新的东西来听听，当一个调味。You ready? 这是英文的赞佛记。Upon the earth below the sky, the Buddha has no peer. In 10 directions everywhere, beyond compare. He's gone beyond duality. He's never born again. With wisdom bright, knows my joy and pain. He walked the noble way with strength and purity. In dark of night and light of day, His kindness touches me. He's not divine, but He's awake. He's neither come nor gone. I find Him in each blade of grass. He is the wisdom sun. I've searched around this whole wide world. Now I can declare you'll never find a wiser one than Buddha anywhere. You'll never find a wiser one than Buddha anywhere. So that's our English language. Praise the Buddha. hope you find that a little new and different, refreshing, maybe. Yeah, 这是我们英文的赞佛机。因为佛诞呢，我们每年一次。In our City of 10,000 Buddhas yellow ceremony book, there are special ceremonies for Buddha's birthday, and the praises that we sing are only once a year. And it's too bad because it's some of the best music in our entire liturgy and the special mantra. So before you go and bathe the Buddha, you go, O Jin Guan Yu Chu Ru Lai Jing Zhi Zhuang Yan Gong De Ju 无着中上林离垢同当如来净法身，然后低下，很好听，就一人一次，然后不再唱，可惜哈。天上天下无如佛，十方世界亦无比，世间所有我今见，一切无有如佛者。一年一次，很可惜，因为很好。所以就把这两个称在一个英文的这个赞佛机，随时都可以唱啊。So because the ceremonies for Buddha's birthday are particularly nice, the chanting, that one I just did, and then the mantra Disha Disha, it's a shame. It's too bad that we only sing them once a year and then forget them until the next year comes around. So in order to fix that problem, I put all of that into Praise the Buddha. And then the familiar melody of Amazing Grace, everyone sings it worldwide. Everyone knows that instantly. And as soon as you say, da-dee, da-da-da-da-da-dee, da-dum, everybody goes, oh, yeah, I know that one. It's very popular. So, and I have to say, it is not a Christian hymn. It's a mistake to call that a Christian hymn owned by the Christians. That's not the story of where that song came from. So, all right. 好了，我们继续研究，再来。Are we ready? Here we go. We did the number 2. 得一切众生平等，普为转无碍法轮功。Because they turn the unobstructed Dharma wheel everywhere, they realize the equality of all living beings. So it's a little, again, the grammar is turned around. The Chinese they get thus the equality of something. So here it is. First was Buddha lands. Next is living beings. How are living beings all alike, equal, none high, none low, none different? Bodhisattvas realize that because they turn, let's see, no, it's the other way around. Because they turn the unobstructed Dharma wheel, pu, that word sometimes translated universally, not everywhere is the right way. Because they do that everywhere, therefore they understand and embody the equality of living beings. How is that possible? Because living beings are clearly we're in a time when those old workers of the world songs from the 20s, which side are you on? Which side are you on? America's polarized. Never mind, won't talk there. So, how do bodhisattvas get past that to realize the equality of all beings? Because whatever it takes to help people appreciate the Dharma and understand it, they will do it. They turn the unobstructed Dharma wheel everywhere. Music, universal language. You know another one? Another universal language? Pantomime. Oh boy. Marcel Marceau was a big deal when I was growing up because he was kind of the first internationally recognized mime. French, white face, bip, with a funny flower in his hat and striped shirt and suspenders. He made everybody laugh worldwide because he was so skillful using this ancient theater art called pantomime. No words. He could make you see things in space that weren't there. And everyone understood it because there was no language obstructing. So bodhisattvas, whatever it takes, is it pantomime, is it music, is it food, is it the ability to connect with animals, whatever it is to get beings to appreciate the Dharma, they will do it. 在这里呢，这个第二个很有意思，就说众生平等。菩萨明白正的，他们得正的，他们体会到一切众生平等。那众生怎么会平等？台湾有绿有蓝啊，这个在国内啊，那个内战呢，有共产党有国民党啊，很多党太多党啊，不平等啊。那菩萨明白众生平等，怎么会呢？因为他们普为专无碍法轮故。因为这是什么意思呢？就是说他们发愿一定要想法子让众生接受佛法，修行佛法法门，然后用佛法来离苦得乐。每个众生有不同的语言啊文字，他们可以接受，才能对佛法生兴趣，然后就开始修。什么语言呢？你们看过 Marcel Marceau？ 他是法国一个 pantomime. Somebody told me last week what pantomime was, and I forgot. Pantomime. I could ask ChatGPT, but I've got, here we go. Let's see. 戏剧大师马戈马寿. There you are. Thank you. That's esoteric. 马戈马寿. You want to see him? He is great fun. Let's see if we can find Marcel Marceau. Here we go. Marcel Marceau. 他是法国一个 pantomime， 就是这位 pantomime 是说一个哑剧，是哑剧还是夜剧？哑剧，林峰说夜剧哑剧啊，就是他。He was Bip. He was a Jewish member of the French resistance. His father was killed in Auschwitz. Oh, I didn't know that. So here he is as Bip, and 他的特别功能就是只有他用那个白粉把他的脸就弄白了，然后穿的衣服就是这种衣服啊，然后他有那个戴个帽子，那个帽子上有一朵花，他就可以，他用动作让你看到没有这个东西，你都会等于有啊。Let's take a quick look at a pantomime. Here we go. Marcel Marceau.很好玩，很好玩。这个人啊，他的这个他会用身体用的很有把握，就大家看过，他就不用文字，他不讲话，没有话说，他就 小抽也不一定是小抽，它是一种小抽，可是他呢，就是他不讲话，他就用他的动作，就让你看到无形中有一个墙壁啊，无形中有一条绳子，无形中有东西在那儿，它会让你的想象力就相信哦，原来他在那儿爬个梯子，没有梯子啊。So 它就是一个 pantomime， 什么意思呢？就是说这是一种普遍没有文字的语言，在非洲也好，在香港也好，在法国也好，在南美也好，大家看了一样的笑，一样的就说，哎，这个很奇妙，这个人的动作能令我明白，空中的东西本来不存在，我就相信存在。这是一种的方便法，让我们沟通，我们接受他的理念啊，很奇妙。那么菩萨都会用什么方法来让我们接受佛法，都愿意用。Okay, the point of I should have screened Marcel Marceau in advance because he's so wonderful to watch him. The point is that a bodhisattva is able to use whatever is needed that we can accept to understand the Dharma. And if for Marcel Marceau, he could, using his body, using the training of his talent, his control over his body, we would believe that we were seeing something in space that didn't actually exist. That was the amazing thing. There we go. All right, we're back. You would see a wall. He would make a wall. You would see him climbing a ladder, but there was no ladder. You'd see him pulling a rope. There was no rope. Eating an apple, but there's no apple. But he would make you believe. And everywhere, Africa, anywhere in the world, Latin America, Asia, Oceania, if you see Marcel Marceau or a skillful mime, it's just, you absolutely understand the image that he is or she is trying to convey, because that's the magic of pantomime. So he was a real treasure. I didn't realize he had a background in the French resistance. That's really fascinating. I need to know more. He was one of my mother's favorites. Yeah. Okay, let's do another one here. Well, we have time. 得一切菩萨平等，普出生一切智愿故。Because they bring forth the aspiration for omniscient wisdom, they realize the equality of all bodhisattvas. Okay, this is easy. This is easy to find the key to what this means. Why? There is one absolute universal criteria for bodhisattvas, which is bodhisattvas have made the Bodhi resolve. What is that? They have challenged themselves to discover their potential and then taken steps to realize it. That's the Bodhi resolve. That Shangcheng Fo Dao, above, I'm going to realize the Buddha path. No, ultimately, I'm going to maximize my potential for wisdom. Xiahua Zhongsheng, below, I'm going to teach living beings. No, that's not it. It's the things that stand in the way of my realization of ultimate wisdom, I'm going to transform, get to make those afflictions and obstacles pingdang, going to level them out. Okay, so that is all bodhisattvas equally do that. 就说所有的菩萨有哪一方面是一样的平等，一样平等，无论哪一个菩萨都平等得到什么呢？就一切智愿。怎么说呢？菩提心。菩萨怎么样解释呢？都是发过菩提心的。善财童子53次，52次，善知识问他：“你发菩提心有没有？”有。OK， 好，那我可以教你，我接受你当为学生。那么菩提心呢，就是上乘佛道。 就说我愿意证得，我愿意证得我最高的一种潜能性 possibility。怎么成就呢？怎么证得呢？就是把我所有的障碍我自信上的习气毛病化掉了，下化众生这样子。Okay, all right. You know what? That's where we're going to stop for today with the sutra. We're going to move on to Master Empty Cloud, Master Xuanzang, that is to say. Okay, we only got 3 sentences because of all of the changes here, including having Zoom break immediately. 那我们就从 Okay, there we go. Put this away for now. We are going to finish the second section of second chapter of Master Xuanzang's life. 玄奘大师这个他的生平的故事，他的外传的第2品就今天讲完了。Okay, here we go. We get the story of a king. This Master Xuanzang's biography, as well as his book 洗浴记, the Journal of the Western Kingdoms, is an encyclopedia. There's so many different topics and things that get changed from mile to mile as he sees them, that here we have a description of one of India's most famous kings who will prove to be significant in recognizing Master Xuanzang's quality. 就说玄奘大师的这个生平，他的外传，还有他的西域记，就应该说是百科全书。他包罗万有，他遇到什么他就写什么。所以呢，这次呢，他就遇到一个国王，还有那个地方的讲国王的这种传说，他的故事啊，这个 Shiladitya 界的这个国王，他在玄奘大师在印度的未来就很大的关系了。Here we go. 大臣婆尼及群僚等，悲苍不必合掌悲苍圣之无主，共立其地，施罗阿迭多戒日统称宗庙。这个戒日王雄之具续节，算略宏远，得动天地，易感人神，虽能雪暴凶仇，牢笼印度，为风所击，己教所瞻，无不归德。The chief minister Bani, this is the place called Kanyakubja. Chief Minister Bani and his colleagues lamented the loss of their king and enthroned the king's younger brother, Shiladitya. Shiladitya, son of the precepts, S-U-N, like the sun in the sky, to succeed him. So the Didi of the king was, let's see, we should have started above one sentence. 就说我们在这里开始，使东印度杰罗那苏法拉那国，设上加往，误其名略而为临患，乃诱而害之。At that time, King Sasanaka of Karnasuvarna in East India, being jealous of Rajavardhana's political ability, saw him as a dangerous neighbor and treacherously murdered him. So, Master Xuanzang has gone to a place where the king of that place had been murdered by a jealous neighboring monarch. Okay? 就说玄奘大师去那个地方，那个地方的国王被隔壁邻居的另外一个国王因为妒忌心呢就被杀害，因为这个关系把这个国王的弟弟 来成立了，成为那个人，那个戒日王非常能干好的国王。So Shiladitya, son, the solar precept son, the son of the precepts, not S-O-N, but S-U-N, he became the king, and he was a really, really good king. Okay, the new king was a man of heroic character and had great administrative abilities. He knew how to be king. His virtue moved heaven and earth. His righteousness influenced men and gods. He could take revenge for his brother and rule over India. He conquered all the countries which his military strength and political influence could reach. So was he like a wishy-washy guy? No, he was a military general as well. But, well, I'm ahead of myself here. He was a really good warrior and a good administrator. 那个文汉武他都会他先用武器来降服全印度所有的那个邻国然后呢就说打胜仗之后他就统理很好。So 天下既定，立树思安，于是即无陶歌，引述副业，赤其境内，无得杀生，凡绝源普令断肉，虽有圣机，节见且览，虽3-7日，便供众僧。5年一成武者大会，复苦所积，并充弹舍，详其所行，须达那之六矣。When order was restored in his domain after he militarily conquered, the people lived in peace. Military campaigns were put to an end. Weapons were disused, good deeds encouraged. He ordered no living beings should be killed in his domain. His people were not allowed to eat meat. He built many monasteries at the holy places. Every year he entertained the monks for 21 days. For 5 years he convened the great quinquennial assembly, in which he gave all he had in his treasure house as religious alms. So, considering his deeds, he was like Sudana, who gave the Jada Grove, who bought the Jadavana garden from Prince Jeta. Okay. Sudana is not correct. Sudata. It should be Sudata, not Sudana. Okay. So, are you ready to give up your Big Macs? Are you ready to give up your Whoppers? Yeah, can't eat meat. Oh, that's the... I won't talk politics here. So, this is a very interesting story that, what do they say? Ma fang nan shan, dao bing ru ku, ma fang nan shan. There's a Chinese idiom that says the weapons were stored in the armory and the war horses were sent out to the southern pasture. So in other words, warfare stopped. What a good king. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Instead of $1 trillion military budget. Yeah. No living being should be killed. This is a heaven on earth for humans. And talk about the blessings that he had. Look at how he treated not just the Buddhists, but all religious leaders and representatives received this kind of welcome and honoring. Now, later on in the next chapter of our biography, after Master Xuanzang spends his time at Nalanda learning from his teachers, and he's just about to return to China, the same king throws one of these great giving assemblies on behalf of Master Xuanzang, because he becomes the debate champion of all of China. So, just amazing stories here. We'll find out more about these in a bit. 就说等一等这个 国王，这个好的国王，他战胜以后，就把所有的武器刀兵入库，马放南山，他以后不再打仗，就天下太平了，真的是天下太平了。孔老夫子一定会赞成这么一个国王。你在那里，你不能吃汉堡，哎呦，那个麦当劳不能用，不能吃，肉怕很谈不到，不能杀生，不能吃肉，哇，你受得了受不了？哎呦，可是那边真的是天下太平了因为国王他就恭敬所有的这个宗教人士，不是单单佛教的所以呢有这种的大施会、大布施会议等一等。第三品这个玄奘大师传，我们会听到多一点这个法非常有意思，非常有意思。Okay, we're gonna find out more about Shiladitya and his incredible practice of Dharma in later on in book 3 of our biography. So there we go. Thank you for waiting for me to get things together here. I hope the sound was acceptable and everybody enjoyed this opportunity to look into the sutra. Let's dedicate merit here on the Buddha's birthday. Here we go. Oh, I need to tell you, at the end of this month, Master Hsuanhua's, on the day before Master Hsuanhua's Nirvana remembrance, on Saturday, there's going to be an event. So please do come to City of 10,000 Buddhas. We're going to have a memorial day of activities celebrating, looking forward from all of the gifts that Shifu left us. 这个月底5月底就是上人那个涅槃前一天星期六，在万佛场，我们都会有玄化上人的一种四大之夜的一种研讨会，非常有意思，欢迎大家来参加。Here we go. May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see, our hands and hearts can find in giving unity. May our minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light dispel the darkness of our endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. One more thing we have to do, which is bow to the Buddhas. Give everybody a chance. Here we go. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. Alrighty, that's going to do it for us for today. We'll see you all next week. Happy Buddha's birthday, everybody. 我们就到此为止啊。这个佛诞快乐，阿弥陀佛，各位，拜拜。
Thank you, 徐老师。
阿弥陀佛。